What is up, everybody? Dr. D-Box Games, and today we're doing our top 10 wish list over the Pokemon that we would like to see in ARK from Pokemon Evolved. Now, if you agree with this list, make sure you share this video so that we get the word out. Some of these are going to be duos and trios because when you got one, you need the other. So we do have a few more than 10 Pokemon, but it's in a top 10 list. Coming in at number 10, we have Darkrai and Cresselia. Now, the reason we put these two together because they're both members of the lunar duo of Sinnoh and are polar opposites, where Cresselia is psychic and based on the crescent moon, and Darkrai is a dark Pokemon based on the new moon. Also called the subconscious duo because Darkrai gives people nightmares and Cresselia gives people pleasant dreams. Now, we also want to talk about the height because in all of our past videos, we're always asking, is this Pokemon sized right in ARK? Now, oddly enough, Darkrai and Cresselia ended up being the exact same height, measuring out at 4 feet 11 inches, even though they both hover. For this list, we wanted to make sure that we tried using their signature moves if we could. For Darkrai, we're picking Dark Void, where it shoots out a black ball of energy, and for Cresselia, we're picking Lunar Dance. So it would be really awesome if Pokemon Evolved could find a way to make these the primary moves that they get to use. Coming at number 9, we have Keldeo. Keldeo is a dual-type water and fighting cold Pokemon. Keldeo has an ordinary form and a resolute form, where it's more like a unicorn. It's triggered by learning the move Secret Sword from Cobalion, Virizion, and Terrakion. Along with these Pokemon, Keldeo is a member of the Swords of Justice, also called the Legendary Musketeers, as this group is based on the Three Musketeers novel. For the height, this one comes in at 4 feet 7 inches, and the move is pretty obvious. We went with Secret Sword, where it basically like kind of cuts with its horn. We thought this would be the coolest move for Pokemon Evolved to make for Keldeo. It would just be so awesome, and if we get to Keldeo, we definitely need the rest of the Swords of Justice in the future. Coming in at number 8, we have Latios and Latias. Latios and Latias are members of the Eon duo of Hoenn. Both are Dragon-type Pokemon. Known for speed, Latios is used to ride across the map in Pokemon Sun and Moon, and what better to ride across the map on ARK Survival Evolved than Latios and Latias? It would be so amazing. They could be quicker than pterodactyls and be so much fun to ride around. And maybe after 40 levels, maybe Pokemon Evolved starts bringing in Mega Evolutions, where instead of it needing a Mega Stone to evolve, maybe it's just a certain level that it needs to get to. That'd be really cool if we could get some Mega Pokemon in. The height of these Pokemon, oddly enough, are different. I thought they'd be both the same size. Latios measures out at 6 foot 7 inches, where Latias measures out at 4 foot 7 inches. For the moves, Latios should use Luster Purge, and Latias should use Mist Ball. For number 7, we have Yveltal and Zygarde. It would be so amazing to have these. Basically, with Pokemon Evolved changing the riding mechanism to where you pretty much become the Pokemon, I'm hoping that they make other legendary Pokemon like that are already in there, like Dialga and Giratina, rideable. They need to do that, and if they do, then these could definitely work. Yveltal and Zygarde would be perfect. Yveltal is a dark flying type Pokemon. It is the only legendary dark type Pokemon. Pretty cool. Part of the Aura trio with Xerneas and Zygarde. Xerneas spent 1,000 years sleeping in a form of a tree before reviving and sharing eternal life. Yveltal absorbs life force of all living things and turns into a cocoon when its life comes to an end. Zygarde comes to attack whenever the natural order of Xerneas or Yveltal is disrupted, which kind of makes Zygarde a little bit cooler in my opinion. Now, Zygarde has 5 forms, so this might be kind of crazy to ask for Pokemon Evolved to do this. Now, in the beginning, I would kind of like 100% form Zygarde to be the one that they pick, but if they could, it'd be cool to do the Zygarde Cell 1 and maybe have that be the first evolution, and every 40 levels you evolve, and then do 10% Zygarde, 50% Zygarde, and then complete Zygarde form. That would just blow my mind. All 5 Zygarde forms would be so cool if they would just make it to where it evolves. Now, the height for Yveltal measures in at a massive 19 feet. That is insane. Yveltal will be a monster. Zygarde's complete form, though, measures out at 14 feet 9 inches. I thought it was going to be bigger than Yveltal, but it ended up not. Now, the move that we picked for Yveltal is Oblivion Wing, obviously. A beam of dark energy would be so awesome. We could use that as maybe a right click or a C for a second or third move for that one, or make it at the primary. With Zygarde, we picked Land's Wrath. Coming in at number 6, we have Zekrom and Reshiram. Zekrom is a Dragon Electric type and Reshiram is a Dragon Fire type. Zekrom and Reshiram are members of the Tau trio along with Kyurem. Zekrom represents the concept of yin and Reshiram represents the concept of yang. So we definitely need to have both of them in there. For the height for these, Zekrom measures in at 9 feet 6 inches and Reshiram is 10 feet 6 inches. The move we picked for Zekrom is Fusion Bolt, and then Reshiram is Fusion Flare. Again, I don't know if Pokemon Evolve is going to be able to do these moves. These are just what we're hoping that they'll be able to pull off. Coming in at number 5, we have Entei and Suicune. Now, a lot of people have seen the video that I did for Raikou. If you haven't, go check it out. But if you have, you know that I need Entei and Suicune. I hate having one and not the other, so we need to get all three in there. Entei is the fire Pokemon and Suicune is the water one. Along with Raikou are the legendary beasts said to be resurrected by Ho-Oh after the burning of the Brass Tower. Now the height for Entei is 6 feet 11 inches and Suicune measures up at 6 feet 7 inches, just barely smaller. Now there were no signature moves for these two, so the move that we picked for Entei was Sacred Fire, and Suicune we picked Aurora Beam. If you think that you know a better move for these two, make sure you leave that in the comments below. Coming in at number 4, we have the giant Kyogre. Kyogre, being a water Pokemon, possesses the ability to expand the oceans. In ancient times, it came into conflict with Groudon, a Pokemon with the ability to expand continents. Both Kyogre and Groudon have primal forms, so it'd be awesome if we could see those in there. Again, maybe another 40 levels and it evolves. In Pokemon Sapphire, Emerald, and Alpha Sapphire, Kyogre is sought after by Team Aqua as part of their plot to create more habitats for aquatic Pokemon by raising the sea level. Along with Groudon and Rayquaza, Kyogre is part of the Weather Trio. Their role as guardians, as well as their respected types, are related to their elemental spears. Kyogre being Hydrosphere, Groudon being Lithosphere, and Rayquaza being Atmosphere. These three members all appear to have similar physiology, identical signs on their body, as well as their yellow eyes. Now the height for Kyogre is going to be 14 feet 9 inches. I really hope we get this in there because we have Whale Lord and it would be so sick to have a giant Kyogre in the water. It would just be awesome to get more water Pokemon in general. The move we picked for this is going to be Origin Pulse, where it shoots out a giant beam of light. I think that would be so awesome and kind of like the Hyper Beam that Gyarados uses, sort of. Coming in number 3, we have one of the most requested Pokemon, Arceus. Arceus is known as the original one. It is said that it possibly created the entire Pokemon universe, along with the Lake Guardians and the Creation Trio. Because of this, Arceus is thought to be one of the most long-lived of all Pokemon species. It has the power to recreate the Creation Trio as well, presumably to guard the dimensions when a trainer has caught one of them. According to the anime, its power can also bring back things that it once destroyed, make certain things vanish into thin air, or to halt time. Its height is 10 feet 6 inches, and the move that we chose for Arceus is Judgment. Coming in at number 2, we have another popular Pokemon and one of my personal favorites, Hoopa. Now there's Confined Hoopa and Hoopa Unbound. I'd like to see both, but I kind of like to see Hoopa Unbound a little bit more. That's just me. Even though I enjoy the kid-like Hoopa, the big Hoopa would just be so awesome. Hoopa is a Psychic Ghost Pokemon that has 2 forms, Hoopa Confined and Hoopa Unbound. Hoopa has the power to transport things using teleportation, which wraps space. Hoopa Unbound is said to be Hoopa's true form. Hoopa Unbound is said to have the power to bend dimensions, which allows it to seize anything in the world. As seen in the anime, Hoopa Confined and Unbound can travel through the rings, and Hoopa Unbound has the ability to control and summon powerful legendary Pokemon. I'm not asking for Pokemon Evolved to allow me to have a move where the rings come out and I start summoning Pokemon like crazy, but I really hope that we can get the Hoopa. Now the Hoopa Confined measures up at 1 foot 8 inches, being a tiny little Pokemon that could possibly sit on your shoulder, and Hoopa Unbound measures in at a whopping 21 feet 4 inches, being the biggest Pokemon on our list today. The moves that we picked for Hoopa Confined was Hyperspace Hole, which looks amazing, and then Hoopa Unbound, Hyperspace Fury. Not saying that these are definitely going to be the move that Pokemon Evolved picks, but we can only hope. Coming in at number 1, we're picking the brand new Solgaleo and Lunala. Lunala is definitely one of my favorite psychic Pokemon of all time. Solgaleo is a psychic in steel, where, like I said, Lunala is a psychic ghost. They're members of the cosmic duo. Solgaleo is a representative of the sun, known as the beast that devours the sun. Lunala is a representative of the moon, known as the beast that calls the moon. Both Pokemon evolve from Cosmeme and create ultra wormholes, and with the power of both Pokemon can create Cosmog. When grouped with their pre-evolutions, they are also referred to as the Cosmog line. Now Solgaleo measures in at 11 feet 2 inches and Lunala measuring up a little bit bigger at 13 feet 1 inch. Now the moves that we picked for them, Solgaleo gets Sun Steel Strike and Lunala's getting Moongeist Beam. In my opinion, we have to get these. Pokemon Evolved, if you see this, please, 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 I've been asking since day 1 to give me Solgaleo and Lunala. And if you're not going to give me Solgaleo, please give me Lunala. So that pretty much does it for our top 10 list. If you have any Pokemon that you think that we may have forgotten, make sure you leave it in the comments below and we might do another video. Also, don't forget to share this video so we can try to get these Pokemon in there as soon as possible, because I really hope we get to see these Pokemon. So as always, don't forget to smash that like button, share the video, subscribe if you haven't already if you'd like to stay up to date on more Pokemon in ARK information. And until next time, everybody, later!